I'm sorry. You got to excuse me. But I can't in good conscience say that acting a fool constantly and saying that Jesus is my Lord fits. I can't in good conscience stand up here and say that coming and going as I please in the presence of God is acceptable. I can't in good faith share with you that it is okay to absolve folk that you and I all know we're getting away with treating Christ as a religious artifact. You know why I can't do that? Because his grace costs way too much. It costs more than you and I could ever pay. It costs more than what Bill Gates and all billionaires combined have. It costs too much for us to say that his gift is that simple. Help me, Holy Ghost, because I don't think I'm going to get any help the rest of the way. I can't stand up here and say that it is just okay. Because there's too many people dying. Not from hearing, not hearing the word, but from hearing that cheap grace is enough. Excuse me if I got a problem with cheapening the gift of God. For all that he has done, why in the world would I call his gift cheap? The death he died, why would I call his grace cheap? For the suffering he went through, for people talking about him and his mom, for folk calling him no more than a little piece of trash from the hood, for people trying to kill him before his time, for people talking all kind of garbage about my Savior. Excuse me if I got a problem with saying that grace is cheap. It's not cheap. I said it on Facebook to some extent that grace, the value of God's grace is only as high as your personal view of yourself. So if you don't value you, I can understand why grace is cheap. I'm trying to break a curse because I believe there's a curse. Not forget Second Baptist in Circleville, where people keep on seeing themselves as worthless. And then people perpetuate it by saying you ain't worth all this. Jesus died for us, so you gotta be worth something. So Paul begins, I got to get into the book. This might end up being two parts. Just, excuse me. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. But excuse me. But Paul begins the chapter with a question. And the question begins from a place where you see people still had a hard time really falling into this new idea and concept of God. Because most of the believers, they were Jewish and they were Gentile. So you have all these different people from different places with different ideas that they always grew up with, coming into a new idea of God that has been presented by a Christ who died and now is gone. Now you've got apostles trying to preach and teach and make clear that what Jesus did for us was not a cheap act. And he's dealing with people that are still functioning out of a place of carnality. There is such a thing as carnal Christians. They walk and roam the earth every day. Some of them sing in choirs, some of them are on deacon boards, and God knows some of them are in pulpits like I am right now. from a place not of what Jesus did for them, but functioning out of head knowledge and trying to justify doing one thing and then doing another. So Paul says, should we continue in sin? Be a practitioner. That's a good word. Be a practitioner of sin. Skilled in the ideas and concepts of sin. Able to perform sin in multiple ways with ease. That grace may abound. 2 words. God forbid. In other words, 1 word. No. And then for the next 10 verses, all Paul does is exegete the idea of the death and resurrection of Jesus and how it applies to us. That once we confess and believe, we have signed on the dotted line saying that we also associate and join with him in the suffering and in the resurrection that he provided. That's what really happens when you say, I come and I yield. Whether you believe it or not, you are signing your name on the dotted line, saying, I take on all the terms and conditions that come with joining his body. Notice I didn't say what comes with joining Second Baptist Church. I said what comes with joining the body of Christ. He died. So this old man has to die. But guess what? He rose. So this new man ought to what? Rise up. I take on now associating with him in every aspect of his life. First thing I was taught when I was younger, always read the fine print. That's why some pastors don't give out the fine print. I'm going on an all-out assault right now from the top down. The reason I preach the word of God is because the word is the fine print. I don't need to preach what's in the Dispatch, the Circleville Herald, none of that. I don't need to tell you what's on CNN. You'll go home, you probably T-voted. I don't need to tell you what's going on in a movie or in this or in that. The thing that I'm responsible for is helping you to read the fine print. And the fine print says, once you gave up your rights to yourself. Let me say it in a business term. When Jesus came with an offer you couldn't refuse, and you signed on the bottom line for him to buy you out, you lost all controlling interest in yourself. It's gone. Get your hands off of it. You already what? Signed over the title. You signed it over. Your life is not your own. Your life is not under your CEO power. It is not under your advisement. He overtook that so he might get you where you need to be. But folk are still trying to pull off a corporate takeover to take back what Jesus already bought with a price. Look, grace ain't cheap. You know why it ain't cheap? Because it costs a man his life. It ain't cheap. Somebody willing to stand in your place, take your punishment, take your pain, take your hurt, take my hurt, and I'm going to act as if I'm cheap. You can buy me off with a smile. You can buy me off with a few trinkets and a few dollars. You can buy me off with a few acres, maybe my own, you don't know. My life costs something.
Yes, it does.
And it costs more than what this world can give me.
That's true.
So what is the cost of bread?